Hey, this is Bradley J in the Alpha Media studios. You can tell behind me, they like to put me in here when I do these StreamYard videos. But today I get to talk to, not only do I call this guy a coworker, but I call him a really good friend because anytime I need KU tickets, he always promises me that he's going to take me to a game. And for 5 years, I've never been in Lawrence for a KU basketball game. But I am talking to one of our veteran marketing consultants, Sean Carter. Sean, I'm sorry I had to start that way, but I figured this is the only way I'll get you to take me to a game is once I get you on a StreamYard video and we got to talk about business and being a marketing consultant. Maybe people out there will feel bad for me and be like, yeah, Carter, take this guy to a basketball game.
I tell you what, Bradley J, I love it. I love it. I love it. You kind of putting me on the spot.
Well, Sean, I know normally we would be face to face, and usually that's a bad thing. But when we're talking about marketing, it's a great thing, man. You and I do a lot of, we do visit here when we're face to face, and we're always shooting ideas back and forth about marketing and promotions and how to help businesses when it comes to radio, but not also radio, but also digital. But how long have you been in marketing, man? We got to get a background on you.
It just keeps going. You just keep feeding me stuff, don't you, here, buddy? Hey, you know what? I've been in marketing. I'm gonna show my age here. I've been in marketing for over 25 years.
We only
Uh,
look 21.
yeah, I know, right? I've been here with Alpha Media for over 9 years, so it's exciting, man. I love what I do, and I love this job, and I love being able to help people.
Well, when it comes to clients and marketing, you've been doing it, like you said, for a long time. What has kept you in the marketing industry for the years that you've been in?
You know, I love helping clients learn more about their business, and I say that from an aspect that when Alpha Media, we really kind of do it a different way, and I can really speak for all of our consultants. You know, when we go in there, typically we don't bring packages or anything like that. We like to sit down with a business owner, with a client, and kind of go over their business and talk about things within their business that not everybody, not consumers, out in the public don't necessarily know about their business. And so I love building a trusted relationship and partnering with these business owners to drive awareness and branding for their business through, digital and traditional marketing techniques. I've always believed that people need first to know about, your business, Bradley J, or a client's business before they need that business's services or products. It's when I think about marketing, it's very simple, and I can't stress this enough. It's when you position yourself in the marketplace, you want to be known before you're needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And two of the things that just talking to you now about it, and you've always mentioned it to me when we've talked about building a commercial for a business that is advertising with us, whether it's through being on the radio or digital, it's always about having that relationship first and foremost. And especially for you, because every time we talk about marketing, you're always talking about the relationship that you have and that you're building and continuing to build with clients and being known before you need it. It is true. You need to be out
Exactly
there.
right. When you think about marketing and advertising, what is it? It's honestly controlled word of mouth. I mean, you have a friend tell you about an experience, that they had with a restaurant, or experience they had with a car dealership here in town, and what happens? You take away a positive impression about that business. And it creates a positive message for the client's business, and what we call, that's what controlled word of mouth it is, or is. A consumer hears a positive message about a business, then the consumer, begins to build trust, in that business, and then at the point when they need, a service or a product that business provides. Well, you know what? I've heard good things about this business. I've heard good things that they do this well, or this widget they have is really, kind of the best one out there. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to look more into that. I'm going to stop by that business and look more into that product. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. One of the things I know with you is that you love working with the client, not just, like a short term, like a week, a day, or whatever,
Right.
but you like a long term marketing plan to get that name out there, like you were just talking about. And one of the things that you do as well is help out with, the great jingles that we hear. And you work with the guys in TeamW. Talk a little bit about that and how you can help a client out with jingles and getting that jingle out there for people to know about their business.
I tell you, it's probably one of the most rewarding things I do, and by no means am I going to take all the credit with this. We have a service that Alpha Media provides, and it's called TeamW. And TeamW is kind of headed up by Dan Lindquist and Steve Costello. And again, and this is only a program that only Alpha Media can provide in our market that I'm aware of. But I'll tell you, it's kind of geared around this focus, and and TeamW's focus is more business for your business. And what's that mean? And it's a team approach for traditional marketing that we strategize and we come up with creative ideas. And in TeamW and myself will sit down with you and start the discovery process to drill down, and Dan's gonna love me when I say this, but brandable chunks. And we talk about brandable chunks a lot because businesses, I don't care what business you have, there are aspects of anyone's business that sets them apart from the rest. Okay. And what we like to call those are brandable chunks. And in using these brandable chunks, we can come up with a series of creative messages or jingles, if you will, that really hones down on what that business does and why it might be beneficial in the market and to these consumers. So I tell you what, I've been working with Dan. I've known Dan for many years. Believe it or not, I was in TV at one time, and I even worked with him in TV. So I just really think a lot of him. And I'll tell you a couple of the clients that in recent years that I've worked with he and Steve on, with even jingles per se, is Sharp Honda here in town, and Blind Tiger, and there's others, but those two right there, those two clients, when we talk about long-term clients and clients that I truly believe have really seen some benefits from their creative they've done with TeamW and with us through through the Alpha Media radio stations. It really is Sharp Honda and Blind Tiger. So I'm really excited. I really hang my hat on those two campaigns that we've done for them over the last couple of years. It's something that I can hang my hat on.
Well, I will say this, and I'm sure there are people that are watching this right now. With your good looks, we can all know that you worked in TV and you did a great job with it. But also, another
Well, hold
question
on.
is,
So just so I did say I was in TV when I was a lot younger in my 20s, and as I progressed through my age, I got less good looking. So then I jumped over to the radio.
the radio.
I'm kidding.
Well, you know what people tell me? I have a face for radio, so this is perfect, man.
Right, that's
Perfect.
right.
Yeah, and also have you done any singing on a client's jingle, or do you have any plans to?
That's a great question, and you know what? I, I'm glad you said that because I haven't. But as soon as we get off of this, I think I'm going to shoot a message to old Steve-O and Dan and
Yeah,
see why that hasn't happened yet. Let me get
yeah.
back to you on that.
Yeah, I think you should pitch that to one of your clients when you're out there. You're like, listen, man, I'll sing your jingle for you, and show your voice off, man. That would be another great point to
I
have
love
somebody
it.
do that.
I
You
love it.
talked about Sharp Honda, and you also talked about Blind Tiger. What other clients that you've been working with that you're currently right now, like right at this instant, seeing success with Alpha Media marketing campaign?
Let's see. I mean, I got quite a few that I'm working with, obviously. But I'll tell you about a client that I have, and it's kind of a niche campaign we're doing. And I'll tell you. So this client's based here out of Topeka, and they cater to museums. Okay, and so just as COVID was starting, they were seeing museums close up, and they were having trouble kind of reaching these museum directors, if you will. And so they reached out to Alpha Media and myself and said, you know what? we're looking for a way to be able to target these museum directors on the East Coast. So we worked together to create a digital campaign that would reach these directors by using a targeted display campaign with a geofence tactic. And if you're familiar with a geofence tactic, it's very simple. We can basically put a parameter around a museum or property or festival, where the case may be, and then with it's kind of like a fence, just like as they call it, and everything inside the fence or phone devices or personal devices, we can capture their IDs off those devices, and we can serve those ads. So what we did is we placed a geofence around more than 20 museums from New York City as far south as South Carolina. And what we did was we began serving display ads to these directors on their computer desktops or mobile devices, and we're delivering these display ads in their apps. Apps that we use every day, apps that the museum directors use each and every day. And then what we can do is outside of the apps, we can also serve these museum directors, or we're also serving these museum directors on their social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and even Snapchat. So it's pretty exciting. And the reason why I brought this particular business up is they're having so much success with it. Is what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks is targeting additional museums on the west or on the East Coast to see if we can, obviously garner more business. So it's really exciting to see what we can do. Not necessarily in this market. I mean, we can help clients across the country. It's amazing.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like you talk about that museum, a museum that you're helping out, but is this something that's good for like local clients, like any client that you talk to, that you can
Yeah.
reach people across the country?
No, it absolutely is. I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, the great thing about digital, it doesn't matter who you're targeting, whether they're here locally, whether they're here in Northeast Kansas, within the state of Kansas, or in the Midwest. If we have the right tactics and we sit down and discuss what it is that business wants to achieve and what it is that they're driving to target or driving to do, we can help them. We have a lot of different digital and traditional marketing tactics to help these businesses be successful with this. I mean, I'll tell you, I know you guys are familiar with this. If you've heard lately, there's a lot of buzz about the Country Stampede. And if you know the Country Stampede, you know the great people at Kicker in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I mean, you know who they are, right? To Bradley J.
Uh, I think I'm familiar with those crazy men and women from Kicker,
That's right.
and I say that affectionately, by the way.
That's right. Well, if you've been out to Stampede, you know the Kicker, they have this big 84-foot semi, and it has the boom room in it. And in this, what this is a tool that Kicker uses for their on-site activation. Okay, but outside of Stampede, Kicker takes this 84-foot semi to festivals and conventions, car shows. If you guys are familiar with side by sides, they're the big rage. There's different festivals out west where they have these Jeep shows, and so Kicker takes all this stuff to them. So what we do with Kicker is we do a similar geofence tactic that has a look back, and I'll explain the look back in a minute. But what we can do is we can geofence around, like I said, a festival ground or a convention center or a museum or exhibit, and we can serve people those ads again. But what's cool that we do with Kicker is Kicker has been, they've had relationships with these festivals and these and these car shows for so many years. We have actually an element called a look back tactic, or what we call a polygon as well, where we can go back 2 years. So if it's a June event every year and it happens on the 21st, we can go back to June, June 21st of 2019 and possibly 2000 or June 21st of 2018, and we can put a fence around those festivals or those car shows, and we can serve ads to these consumers in the past, and it's pretty powerful. And it's something that we do with a lot of the Kicker on-site activation locations that they do. across over the course of the year, and it's just amazing the results that they get from these. And I tell you, it's a little scary, that we can go back in time and serve ads to people. But I tell you what, it's a tactic that's very valuable for many businesses.
Is it hard to explain to someone that owns a business about what you're talking about? Like I've talked to you before about it, and I've talked a few times about. I'm like, hey, explain this to me again, and I'm slowly catching on.
Yeah.
Is it hard for somebody when you're out there talking to them about it, or is it, or they like, oh yeah, I get it?
No, no, you're right. You actually nail on the head. It can be. I mean, it's like anything else. Some people are more savvy about things than others are. And I I kind of explain digital marketing like this. I mean, think of it like a doctor. When you're a doctor, you're always needing to continuously train. Okay, you're gonna continuously know about the new and upcoming procedures that are being done to make it less abrasive for the patient. When it comes to recovery time and things like that. Well, digital is kind of the same way. Digital is ever evolving. There's new tactics being released on a monthly basis that can help certain types of clients or certain types of businesses. And so the great thing I love about Alpha Media is we are very diligent, extremely diligent, that truly on a weekly basis we're learning about what's the next big thing with digital. How can we take a certain tactic and make it apply to a certain type of client? And I really do want to give a shout out to our team, and especially our management team, because it is important. It is important, and I think it's our job as marketing consultants to be able. It's another wheel or another tool in our toolbox we can use when we talk to our clients, and and give them the most up to date opportunities that we have available.
I think that comes back full circle to what we had began the conversation with, Sean, and that was having a relationship with that client so that
Yeah,
you can tell them what you're learning, not only when it comes to what we do with an ad on the radio, but also digital, like you explained. Like you're out there having that relationship, they're building trust with you, you're building trust with them, so that when you do come to them and start explaining digital and what digital can do, not only for a business like Kicker, but also a local business right here in Topeka, what they can do. And
absolutely.
it's really all about the relationship that you have with your clients. And I will say that is when people ask me, they're like, Sean Carter as a marketing consultant, what's his best quality? And I'm like, his relationship that he'll build with you. That's the
Yeah.
first thing I tell people out there. And that's one of the things that you get an A plus doing. I mean, you're A and A minus on everything else, but an A plus with relationships.
Well, I
Go
tell
ahead.
you, when it comes to relationships, Bradley, it's not a one-sided deal. I have quite a few clients, and some that I've mentioned today that I go to for advice. Or I'll learn a new digital tactic, or we'll have something new that that we can do with traditional radio. And the thing with traditional radio is there's a big thing for trackability, which is something we can do now. We can track radio. But at the end of the day, I go to my clients and I ask them, how's this working for you? Or if we did this, what would this look like in the scheme of your business? Is this something that we could work together? And sometimes they shoot me down, but you know what? Sometimes we figure out a way to make it work, and we've many and many times we've made it successful. So I mean, I love getting out there and bouncing ideas off my clients and new potential clients, and really that's one of the best things that I love about my job. I mean, it's just collaboration.
I will say this: if you want to advertise smarter, call Sean Carter.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all have heard that commercial I got on the radio. I do find it a little cheesy, but I think it is
Perfect.
effective. I should have probably brought that up a little sooner. But hey, you know what? It's the truth. You know what I mean? You just when you talk about advertising, be smart about it. You know what? And Mr. Carter's here to help you.
Advertise smarter. Call Sean Carter. Sean, so much. It's so much fun always talking to you when it's whether it's personal or business, man. You're a great guy. You're a great marketing consultant. You prove that day in, day out, 7 days a week. I know you try to take time off, but there are days that I've seen you working a Saturday and a Sunday, man. You're a guy that's committed to the job, and you do a great job here at Alpha Media. So thanks again. A pleasure talking to you. Contact Sean Carter. It's right there on the screen. 785-6. I don't even have that number. What the heck?
Great. Now you do.
Call Sean the 785-633-1063 or sean.carter at alphamediausa.com. Sean Carter, you're doing a great job, man. Keep telling people, advertise smarter. Call Sean Carter. I love that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time today.
You bet. Thank you, Sean. See ya.